Hello, everyone. Happy New Year's, and welcome back to another episode of Talks with Kaya. So, this episode, we're talking about my version of a winter arc. And if you haven't heard what a winter arc is, a winter arc is basically the time of year when everyone gets a little sad, because the sun is going down earlier, the daytime is shorter, and it's just not really like the happiest time if you live in the northern hemisphere when it is dark and cold outside and it's just really hard to stay motivated and to stay productive. The winter arc is basically where you throw all those feelings out the window and you basically lock in and you go to achieve the goals that you want during this winter season when everyone else is sad and thinking about summer or wishing for summer, and they're like, oh, I can't wait till summer, I'm gonna do this, I can't wait till spring so I can get started on all this. The winter arc is basically saying to start early, start in the winter, and basically get ahead of everyone else. So when I first heard of it, I think I saw it on YouTube or something, and I was like, what a great idea. I love this idea. I'm gonna start a winter arc. I went on my Pinterest. I started making my vision board for what I wanted my arc to be like, and I was so motivated, and I was like, okay, let me learn more about this. And I went on TikTok, and as I was scrolling through the videos on what a winter arc was, I realized that it was kind of giving 75 hard. And if you listen to my last episode, you would know how I feel about the 75 hard challenge. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need to rethink this whole winter arc thing. Also, when I found out about a winter arc, I had dyed my hair back to brown. I mean, what it is now. So if you didn't know, I don't know why, but every time fall comes around, I just go ginger and have orange hair for a little bit and blonde moment. I don't really know why. And then the spring and winter comes back around and I dye it back brown. And so as I dyed it back to brown, it came out a lot darker than my natural hair color because I did it myself and I just don't care. And it was basically black. And so I showed up and I had black hair basically, and everyone was like, oh, this is giving, this is you are serving, honey. And I was like, period. And I really liked the black hair. So my winter arc, I'm calling it my black hair era, and you'll see why in this episode. Last week, I mentioned how to move in silence and accomplishing your goals quietly, and that is what the black hair era is all about. It's about being mysterious, being cool, but mysteriously, and moving in silence and having quiet confidence. I saw a video earlier this week about quiet confidence, and I was so yes, I love quiet confidence. I feel like this is so helpful, and I think a lot of people could benefit from hearing this kind of information, and so that is what we're going to talk about today, so buckle in. So the reason I wanted to change my winter arc into a black hair era and change the wording a little bit was just for my own personal self and how I know how I am, and a winter arc and 75 hard and all that, I just know it's just not me. It's not me. I have a hard time sticking to it. I don't really do well in those circumstances, and I know that. And so I decided to make something that is more up my alley and also create more fun and whimsy. Because, when I was on TikTok and I was looking at all these winter arc videos, it reminded me a lot of how I used to feel about basketball. So if you don't know, I play basketball, and I honestly, I used to just hate it low-key because I just feel like it was so serious. Everyone was so rude. I couldn't catch a break. But volleyball, I also play volleyball, and I just love volleyball with my whole heart. And I realize it's because I have a lot more fun in volleyball because I can just be la 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 la, because that's just the energy of the sport and with my teammates, and I've created that kind of environment in my volleyball world. And so that is what I kind of wanted the black hair era to be yes, you're locking in, but you're also being fun and whimsical because that's just the person I am. That's when I have fun, and that's honestly when I do better. I'm much better at volleyball than I am at basketball, so clock that T. Another thing about the black hair era is the mysteriousness of it all. Am I mysterious? Probably not, okay? Probably not. But when I had like really dark hair, I felt really mysterious. Like I felt kind of like a vampire almost. That sounds so corny, but like hear me out. Hear me out because it's like winter, so I'm like pale, but my hair is really dark and I was like I feel like I live in like a mansion and I can like grow wings and fly away. I feel so mythical, you know? And so that was kind of my whole idea of the black hair era, was to be cool and mysterious. Like, be cool and mysterious. If I know it's not making a whole lot of sense, but it will once we get more into this. I think a perfect example of the whole moving in silence and being cool and mysterious is Bridget Mendler. She, if you don't know who she is, she was on Good Luck Charlie, Lemonade Mouth. She was a big Disney star back in the good old days. And she also made music during this time. So she was like a celebrity doing all the red carpets. And then out of nowhere, we learned that she has a PhD. She's a CEO and is in the run to get a degree from Harvard. Hello? Like girls building rocket ships and has all these amazing cool smart things, and it just like honestly this came out of nowhere, which I love for her. And anytime like I'm doing something and I don't want to tell people what I'm doing, I just send them a picture of her, of Bridget Mendler, and I was like, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Like that's what I'm talking about when I say I'm moving in silence, I'm being cool and mysterious and being the best possible version of myself is because of her. Like she's honestly so cool and awesome and I love her. This is important because it's really a smart decision to focus on your growth and your success without having an audience. First of all, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. And secondly, you don't have people talking in your ear telling you can't do it. Today, actually, I was listening to a Better You podcast by Fernanda Ramirez, and I've been kind of getting thoughts of self-doubt, not from anyone else. It was honestly myself. And in this episode, it was about the law of assumption and how she just never tells herself that she can't do anything or that she can't get something. That moment, I was like, you're right. I have been saying like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get this. Oh, I don't know. Having a lot of self-doubt. And I just have to realize like who I am, honestly. I just have to be positive and tell myself that I can get all the things that I want because I'm capable of it and I've worked hard. I worked so hard to get to the places that I want to go to and just have the ability to get to those places anyways. So moving in silence without an audience, I could accomplish nothing and no one would know, for one. But because we're no longer self-doubting, okay, we're no longer doubting ourselves, when I do get the success that I want and when I do get the things that I want and I tell people, they're gonna be like, well, I didn't know you were doing that. Oh, I didn't know whatever. And it's because I was moving in silence. So there's no audience to perform for. And I feel like that's really a helpful and comforting thought because especially, I don't know if it's just for me and the fact that I have a podcast. I kind of post a lot on Instagram. I don't know. I just really love Instagram. But I have to remind myself that people don't have to know anything about me and they don't have to know what I'm doing. They don't have to know what I'm trying to do. I can just keep it all to myself. And you should too, because it's no one else's business except for your own. Another reason why I stopped telling people what I was doing or even asking for people's opinions, I stopped doing that. I was a victim. I was in the clutches of what other people thought I should do. And I don't, not in like an extreme sense, but in like, oh, I want to cut my hair. Like I got a bob and everyone was like, no, don't do it. But I knew deep down I wanted a bob at that time. And I did. And I cut my hair and I was like, I'm happy, so I don't care. And when you do this, it kind of instills like subconsciously, I feel like it instills a sense of needing validation from others. And once I realized that, I was honestly embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I never thought of myself as needing validation or seeking validation from others for the decisions I'm making. But then I realized that, yeah, I low-key do that because I just ask people, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? And then if they tell me no, then then I start to doubt myself. And so once I stop doing that, I am having the time of my life and I do whatever I want because it's my life. This is also a like people pleaser mentality and like habit, I guess, if that's I know there's a better word. I just can't think of it right now, but people with black hair, they're not people pleasers, okay? And you don't have to have black hair to enter your black hair era, but I'm just saying that people in their black hair era, their winter arc, if you must, okay, they're not people pleasers, so they don't ask others for decisions, and they don't really, they don't put that pressure on themselves to be seen positively by others. I mean, yeah, it's a good thing to be seen positively, but at the same time, if you're getting to where you want to be, there's nothing wrong with that. That all being said, the black hair era is a state of maturity and also a state of self-love. Self-love? Great question. Like, it was kind of random that I brought that up. However, the best part of the black hair era for me when I came up with this brilliant idea was the mental, emotional, and physical like glow up, quote unquote glow up, because when I dyed my hair back to brown and to that darker color, I think darker colors just suit me. I think that's just like, I don't know, color theory. I don't know, but I just feel like the darker hair really instilled in me like I'm so cool, like I'm so wow, I'm like I feel really cool right now. Which maybe like cool people don't say that, but I did feel really cool, and I also felt more like myself. And that is the part of self-love that I'm talking about when going into this era. You can do all the things like go to the gym, read, journal, meditate, whatever, and still feel miserable at the end of the day because you're just not acknowledging the parts of yourself that need extra care and that need that kind of security. And so the black hair era, just having darker hair, I just feel more like myself, and I feel like I can be the person that I really want to be. And I know it's like so cliche, but it's because I know on the outside like I feel confident, and so on the inside it's gonna show. It's gonna react. It's a chain reaction. Whatever happens on the outside will happen on the inside, and vice versa. So the whole like looking good on the outside, feeling good on the inside, I just love the idea, and no one can take that away from me. And that is why I want to introduce you to this thing called power posing. I learned this in my public speaking class, and I think it's awesome. Just to preface this, I have done extra research on it, but also this isn't like they've done studies on it, but there's nothing like super proven about it. But you can say that for any study. Fight me on that because it's true. I've taken science classes, right? Power posing is a self-improvement technique that connects posture to confidence and positivity, also better performance. Power posing focuses on your posture and how that inflicts how you feel going into certain situations. For example, when you're going into a job interview, you can tend to feel really nervous, and as a lot of people do, it is a nerve-wracking thing to be interviewed. And so before the interview, a lot of people will like hunch over, they'll make themselves seem smaller, and this is actually a survival instinct that we do as humans, as animals. And like when we feel nervous, when we feel scared, we tend to make ourselves smaller. Then you go into this interview feeling extra scared and nervous because you just spent the last 10 minutes before the interview like your posture reflecting that. And so now it's just like not only on the inside do you feel nervous, but on the outside you feel nervous as well. Power posing is taking your posture and how you are holding yourself on the outside to reflect your emotions on the inside. So power posing is like keeping your chin up, your shoulders back, essentially getting like bigger, like making yourself bigger, standing up straight, putting out your arms if you need to. And in my public speaking class, when we learned about power posing before a speech, I actually tried it where I was in the bathroom. Imagine me before class in like my school building, right? Because I take college classes. I had my backpack on. I'm in the bathroom in the mirror. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I was doing the superwoman pose, is what they call it, where your hands are on your hip, your head is held high, your shoulders are back, you're standing up straight. And I did that for 5 minutes. And then I did my speech, and I got like a 95%, which is not bad. It's not bad. And I also did it before my final, and then that I got 100. Say what you will. Call it placebo, or call it the fact that I made myself feel confident, and then I went into my speech feeling more confident. It's kind of like a fake it till you make it mentality. I am a big believer in fake it till you make it, because I honestly, I'm gonna keep it so real. In middle school, I may have seemed confident and like I knew who I was and stuff. I was a big fat liar. I was a liar, okay? Back in middle school, I don't know who. I went through so many phases between 6th grade and 8th grade that I don't know. I don't even know who I was. Like I had a good time, I guess, but I just pretended that I was confident until it became real. Now, when people see me as being a confident person, I say, hell yeah, I am, because I worked so hard faking it for the past 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And so power posing kind of instills that idea of faking it until you make it. Say what you will about that, but I'm telling you, it works. So if you got a power pose to do it, if you got to dress nice, do your hair, put on jewelry to make you feel better about yourself, and then I'm telling you, it will show in your personality, it will show emotionally, and it will show physically. I'm the most confident I've ever been, because when I don't feel confident, I just pretend that I am. I'm just a liar. Honestly, you could not tell me. It's all about the delusions and using your imagination and delusions to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? So quiet confidence, I mentioned that earlier, and quiet confidence is basically what I mentioned before. In middle school, I didn't talk very much, because like I said, I may have seemed super confident, and like part of me was, but like also, I don't know, I just didn't. I was kind of antisocial, I'm gonna be honest. But quiet confidence is feeling confident without having to show it to others. Like, I feel like a good example of this is, I don't know if you see this on TikTok, but I kind of see them a lot on TikTok and like Instagram, on how rich people act, and then how like wealthy people act. I don't know. And like, I don't even know what these videos are, but they're like in a store, and like the rich people are like, I want the most expensive thing you have, I want the brand slapped on the front. And then the wealthy people are like, oh, this is cute, how much is it? Oh, kind of out of my price range, but they're very humble about it, humble about how much money they have. And I feel like quiet confidence is in the same realm. And I forgot how the quote goes, but I know that you guys know what quote I'm talking about. How it's like the saddest in the room has the most to say. I swear it was in a Tyler the Creator song. Like, I know he said something about that in one of his songs, whatever. But I feel like that is really true, especially when it comes to the conversation of quiet confidence. The people who are confident, like me, I am confident, and I don't feel ashamed saying that, okay? But I don't go into every space trying to show everyone and tell everyone that I'm like super confident. And if that, I try to make other people feel comfortable by like matching their energy, and I don't come into spaces like at 100 all the time, because girl, like, read the room. And so quiet confidence is knowing that it's like, again, about not having an audience, and like not trying to perform for this imaginary audience that you created in your life. It's about having confidence for yourself, and knowing that you don't have to show that you're confident just because you want people to know you're confident, if that makes sense. The black hair era is about having that confidence and being mysterious about it. Like, people don't have to know that you're the most confident in the room. And if you're not the most confident in the room, guess what? They also won't know it, because you're not trying to flaunt what you have. You're not trying to flaunt how amazing and healthy you are. You're not trying to flaunt like, oh, I journal every day, I go on walks, I go to the gym, blah blah blah. Like, those things will show in how you carry yourself, they will show in how you speak, they will show in even like your writing. Those things will show without you even speaking a word, and that is what quiet confidence is. And it's such an important aspect to being a better version of yourself. All in all, the black hair era is about getting what you want when you want it, and to not feel pressured by conflicting thoughts from others. And it's all about how you want to live your life and you living your life for yourself. This is a time in winter when you can start building your life, building the paths to your goal, pushing through every barrier. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, okay? The sun is down, and it's really hard to stay motivated during this time, but I really hope this episode has helped you think about how you want your winter to go this year, especially going into the new year. You still have up until March to get this winter thing, this black hair era going. All it takes is a little change of mindset and a little black hair dye. See you guys next week, where I will be talking about how to be the best student going into the winter quarter, because I know everyone's starting school back up. I know I am. So definitely stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.